Today we're talking about how a $1,000 MR2 might compare to an $11,000 MR2. So we'll walk through it. So I've actually tried to make this video quite a few times. Every time I try, I gotta go do something, like make music with my friend or go to work, you know, those kinds of things. Not that those matter more than cars, because cars always matter first. But finally got around to doing it, and I always lose my place. Anyways, here we have the AW11. This is the 80s MR2. By far my favorite look. It's boxy. It's really quite something. It's the first MR2 I fell in love with. When I see an MR2, I still think, the AW11. Now, next on the list, this is actually the car that came the year after. This is an 89, and this is the 1990 MR2 SW20. So this has a 3S GT. It actually still has the factory 3S GT turbo. And over here, we have a 4AG. This one is naturally aspirated, and it'll rev maybe just a little bit higher. But we're going to talk about just a few of the differences. One car is $1,000. This one, pick that up, really a steal of a deal. I would say this car is honestly worth closer to like $5 or $6 grand when it's nice. I honestly, when it's nice, it's probably around like $8 grand, 8 or 9. But I would say that this car in particular is probably worth 3 or 4 once it's got some good paint on it, maybe a little bit more. Now the SW20, I paid $11,000 for it, and I would say that the value for this car would be $11,000 if you were buying it 2 years ago. Nowadays we're starting to see these climb around 16 to 18, but I'll still call it the $11,000 MR2 because that's what I paid for it. And unless I get someone to evaluate the price, we're just going to assume that's what it's worth. So we'll just walk through the interfaces and see what it's like sitting in each one of them. Alright, so the SW20 coming around the front is an American-made car. So we sit on the left side when we drive. And if you take a closer look, another reason this is only $1,000 is because it's an automatic transmission. We hop in, we got all the funny little knobs. It's got some cracking on the dash, speakers don't work. We're missing some trim here on the back. We do have, though, both of the sun visors. Get a good look at that. We have a functioning sunroof, although this clip here needs reattachment. We can do that whenever. So we'll give it a crank. Hearing that timing belt, that's another wonderful thing that we're gonna get to fix. So it's idling a little over 2 grand now, so I'm guessing idle issues gotten a little bit worse. But that is something that came with the wonderful price, is a wonderful idle issue. Yeah, not a lot to say about this car. There's no cup holders. We got a little console in the back. And over here, the glove box. I know what you're thinking. You're gonna wanna open it here, but this is actually just a vent where the handle belongs. You open it from the top. You got your little clock in there, and the goofed up little head unit. Not working right now. It supposedly has the power mirrors, but doesn't look like there's any power to those mirrors. But yeah, I'll give it a drive sometime, but right now it doesn't have insurance on it, so we're not going to drive it anywhere. So next we have the SW20, and we're actually going to get in on the left side, because contrary to the AW11, this car was built over in Japan, and it was made for the Japanese, so we're coming in on the left side. And since I have to use this car to drive, I'm going to the eye doctor. We'll take a closer look. So we got the TRD steering wheel. Unlike the AW11, we have power mirrors that actually work. We have speakers that work. We have a head unit that works. And honestly, the whole just engagement of the system is just so nice. I think so because I like the startup sounds. I'll just let you hear for yourself. I just love that there's someone to greet me when I turn on my car. Wow, the AC is going. All right, but this one we're missing one of our sun visors, but we got the important one. Now, what's neat about this car is that it has all of its stickers and just the little badges and things, just silly little stuff. My turbo gauge doesn't work, so I'm sorry about that. But sorry, it's a mess today in my car. I'd show you a little bit more, but here we have a little bit more space. And originally it came with Yamaha speakers, so that was a big thing, and they added that little feature there. But yeah, it has new speakers now because we're not messing with those old ass speakers. And you're probably noticing we got curved glass here in the back. That I think is so nice. I love it. I love the curved glass. But yeah, these lights work sometimes. Oh, see? Yeah, kind of fun. Kind of mess around with that. Oh, something that's so very interesting to me, at least, is this right here. Right here, we've got a little piece here on the window. It goes all the way here in a line. Now, if we come over here, we see there's another little guy. What are you doing over there? What they're doing is they're using this entire windshield as my radio antenna. If you look at the back of the car, there's just a fake antenna back there. Honestly, we don't have that good of a look. But yeah, there's a fake antenna back there, and the real antenna's this windshield. I seriously better not break this. So I guess what it comes down to is, do you want to buy an SW20 or do you want to buy an AW11? Here, let me roll up my window. I guess what I'm really asking, or what we're really trying to answer, is what level of comfort do you want to put up with? They're both sports cars from an earlier generation than from what we're used to. So what are you willing to give up for a look? I think the AW11 looks really great, especially once it's pristine. If it was in the same level of condition as the SW20, I think it would look much better. But that's just my opinion. So if you like a sleeker look, obviously the SW20 all day. But regardless, I think going all the way up to an SW20 is kind of where you want to stay. And I think that the MR2 market reflects that same decision. I think it's just easier to have the option of, one, you're getting a car that is capable of going turbo, even if it's naturally aspirated. It's easier to put a turbo in that than in a 4AG. Then you have to consider, all right, do I want ABS? Do I want power steering? And those are things that come with the SW20 that don't come with the AW11. Another thing is you're probably going to pay a premium if you want a manual transmission in an AW11. If you're getting a manual transmission for an SW20, they come almost all day long. I rarely see automatics go listed, but when I do, if you really wanted an automatic, they're cheap. I think automatics for the MR2 right now at least for the AW11 goes. I think you could get one for, I mean, it'd be a real fixer-upper for $4,000, but I think you could get one for like 7 or 8, and it'd be in really good condition. That's for non-turbo. If you want turbo, and it's an American one, you're looking at more like 14, 15 grand. If you want the JDM one, you know, you're obviously putting down a little bit extra just so that you can have the one from Japan. I mean, I just lucked out. I was looking for an American one, and I ended up getting the one where I can drive on the right side, and it's my preference. My first car was an import car. I learned manual transmission on the right side, so it kind of just like felt like home for me to get in on this side. But if we're talking about price difference between an 89 MR2 and a 90 MR2, that's something to consider. So I hope this helps. I know I must not have answered every question. Some of these things I just don't know what to answer, or, you know, give information for. I think both of the suspensions were designed by Lotus, and honestly, yeah, I don't know what other information to give. If you have any questions or stuff maybe I should talk about that I didn't talk about, just shoot me a message. I have once again succumbed to the lust of the MR2, and I bought another one.